wherever you want to talk sports.
Now it's time for Monty in the Morning.
Hey, yo, man, how the heck are you? It is Friday, August 27th, 2021. 1 week from right now, I will be jetting my way to Jellystone Park.
Okay.
Are you excited to sleep in my bed?
No. Nope.
Jake's going to be house sitting. I will be camping. I cannot wait. Well, glamping, because I rented an RV.
Yeah, you don't lay on the ground inside of a plastic, 4x4 tent thing.
Do they make plastic tents?
Apparently.
I'm unaware of that. A week from now, we'll be going to Yellowstone, so next Friday we will be off. But right now, we have to rip the Pac-12. We have to talk about Apostle Holland's discussion. And did it impact BYU football? And does that even matter? Bronco Mendenhall is going to be part of this conversation. We've got to talk about the weekend. I've got a huge hole in my backyard, and I have not the slightest idea if we will have a backyard this weekend or not. I'm unaware of these
the problem.
facts. We have to talk about epoxying one's penis to provide safe sex.
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Oh, that's a true story. And as well, we should probably talk about what's going on in the Traeger smoker. Do you, and the other question that I want to run through the show today is, do you use protein powder? Well, I guess the bigger question is, do you even lift?
Yeah, that's a big question.
We use a lot of protein powder, but there was a bit of a discussion yesterday on Instagram about whether or not protein powder works or is it useless. So all you do is pee it out. See, I disagree with that.
As you can see, there's not much hope for you left.
You're not the one putting up 70-pound dumbbells on an incline press yesterday like this guy.
Right.
Me.
Yeah.
Like it was nothing. Like I was Prussian air.
We get it.
Anyway, so we'll talk about that coming up. But I do want to start with this Pac-12 situation because I think one of the things that annoys me so much about the Pac-12 is I love Pac-12 football. I'm a passionate Pac-12 football fan. It has been a long nut-busting trip with the Pac-12. The conference has been irrelevant for at least 5 years. And now you have all of this tumult and expansion that is inevitable in college sports. Let's just be honest about it. The minute that Texas and Oklahoma kicked off college football realignment and expansion, the Pac-12 had a window in time to act. And now yesterday, the Pac-12 conference has announced they're going to do what they always do, absolutely nothing. They are not going to expand. They are not going to add membership. They will not be adding football membership only. They're doing nothing. And it's frustrating because this conference, it's a conference of champions of the math club because this conference doesn't win football or basketball titles. They don't. And the thing that is really disappointing as a fan of Pac-12 football is that I can't see it happening in the foreseeable future because the leadership of this conference is broken. And Jake, I guess where I want to start is, what is your opinion of the Pac-12 conference on the whole?
Yeah, I just think it's strictly mediocre. I think there's nothing special about it. I think the days of Reggie Bush and Pete Carroll at USC were when the Pac-12 was doing well. Those were the heydays. And that's all gone. That's been gone. That I really don't think that the Pac-12 has been anything to write home about since then. And you're talking, what was that? Over 10 years ago now? What was that not? What was that, 2007,
yeah, it's been a while.
I think, or 2008?
It's probably been 10 years. I was being probably generous when I said 5 years. It's probably been 10 years since this conference has been relevant.
You think about the talent that the Pac-12 has put out, and right now the Pac-12 does not put out teams in complete packages the way the SEC does. So when you think of the Pac-12, well, at least when I think of the Pac-12, I don't think of, oh man, this team is just going to be dominant this year. Whereas in the SEC, you're like, yep, Roll Tide, Alabama, they're going to be dominant. They're going to the college football playoff. that's the team that we're going to be looking for. And yeah, I'm going to be looking for LSU, Alabama in the swamp this year once again, So like to me, for when you compare the Pac-12 to other conferences, I look at the Pac-12 and I say, man, I'm watching the Pac-12 for players, not teams. And that's a problem because at the end of the day, great football is team-oriented matchups. Like, hey, Utah and USC for the South. Like those kind of matchups I want to be excited about, but it's hard for me because, and this is kind of what we talked about earlier in the week, and if you've been listening this week, you'll remember this. We specifically talked about who's going to win the South and probably who's going to win the North. And every single year, what do I hear about USC? And frankly, what do I hear about the Pac-12? Oh my God, we've got all these great teams. There's so much talent. USC is just loaded. They look amazing. And UCLA is doing some nice things. Maybe Cal could add another win to the schedule this year. And what do we get? Nothing. We get nothing. Absolutely nothing. So when I'm talking BYU and Utah and the Holy War, I'm like, yeah, you're damn right. Utah has more to lose. But at the end of the day, is the Pac-12 any more entertaining than BYU against LSU or BYU against Miami or BYU against some epic SEC opponent? Not really, and that's the problem. This is what happens when you leave, Larry Scott in control for, 2 decades? Probably 5 to 7 years, way too long. I mean, hell, I saw on Facebook memories when we went to Pac-12 Media Day, what was that, 5 years ago? And we had Larry Scott sit right in front of us and tell us, "Oh yeah, we've got deals with DirecTV coming. We've got a media rights package coming out." That never came out. And so as usual, when Pac-12 expansion came up and conference expansion came up, what did I think? Nothing's going to happen here. They're not going to do anything because that's who this conference is. Whereas in the SEC, you have forward-thinking, aggressive leadership that takes you places. And so I don't know how you fix what ails the Pac-12 other than to just say, hey, you guys need better leadership. You guys need people to come in and say, this is where we have to go. And until that happens, they're always going to be struggling to be at the table as far as the P5 conferences are concerned.
My biggest question about the Pac-12 is, can we honestly sit here and say on Friday, August 27th, a week before the season opens, can we honestly sit here and say that the Pac-12 conference and its leadership is doing everything possible to be even relevant and win championships? I don't think you can. I look at this opportunity, and I'm not trying to be sensational, but I look at this opportunity. You change commissioners. There was a loud, distinct sigh of relief and celebratory machinations the moment that Larry Scott was fired by this conference. It was a moment where you could take a big step forward.
Yeah, a lot of momentum.
And yet, you're just doing the same thing you've always done. And maybe it wasn't the commissioner, maybe it's the presidents, maybe it's the athletic directors. I don't know. But what I do know is right now today, the Pac-12 conference is irrelevant. When we talk about championships and we talk about winning the college football playoff, the Pac-12 conference is irrelevant. When we talk about winning a national championship in college basketball, the Pac-12 is irrelevant. It has been one of the most disappointing basketball conferences in this country for years running. COVID be damned. And I understand that there were some good stories last year. But with the evolution that has taken place in college basketball, the Pac-12 is irrelevant.
Yeah.
You're not going to ever be Gonzaga. You're not ever going to be Duke or North Carolina in basketball. You're never going to be any institution in the SEC in football.
Is Arizona not the perfect example?
Arizona should be a dominant basketball program year in and year out.
Yet, what do we get?
You get scandals and fired coaches.
Not good enough. Can't win any games. The Jesus Christ of redheaded basketball players and Nico Mannion never lived up to it at Arizona. It just gets tiring.
All we heard from Arizona fans was, just let us compete for a title this year and then, rip the program apart. Well, that's exactly what they did, and you completely fell apart. Oh, it's Sean Miller's fault. Okay, but what's the excuse now? This conference of champions is not a conference of champions. It's a conference of has-beens. Never were.
Yep.
Not relevant. I mean, USC is the only marquee brand when it comes to football. With all due respect to Oregon, I don't think Oregon's ever gotten back to where they were with Chip Kelly, and I don't know that they ever will, frankly. I know right now they're not, and I know right now that until another brand, and I'd love it to be Utah, until Utah takes control of this conference, and then with the influx of transfers, you have an opportunity to do that. Until Utah takes control of this conference, they are not relevant either. And it goes back to your original point. And the question I asked earlier in the week that I got flummoxed for. Who's in a better position to be relevant, BYU or Utah? And I'm telling you, it's BYU. Because the Pac-12 conference is holding their membership hostage on the field.
Yeah.
I mean, whether it be Friday night death trips to Corvallis, whether it be, just unspeakable loss of revenue through a lack of streaming and media rights.
And these are not hard things to do.
No.
Right?
You
Like, this isn't
control
rocket
these things.
science.
These are all things you're in control of. These are all things that the Pac-12 has had their hands on for years and has chosen to do nothing about. And the struggle is changing the way you've always done things, but not being able to accomplish that. And so when you do the same things you've always done, you're going to get the same results you've always gotten, which is why you're irrelevant.
Yeah.
Which is why the Big 12 is far more compelling, even as they've lost now Texas and Oklahoma. The Big 12 is far more compelling. If the Pac-12 really wanted to win, and if the Pac-12 really wanted to be a power conference, to play with the big boys, to play with the SEC, if that's where the Pac-12 was and wanted to be, they'd have sold out to get everybody they could get. They would have gone after Oklahoma State. They would have gone after any big marquee program left in the Big 12. You'd have gone and, chased down a vulnerable Big 10 right now. Because the Big 10's vulnerable. The Big 10 probably got too big. And everybody, again, here's another thing everybody says I've been crazy about. Nebraska would like another conference. I think Nebraska, if you said to Nebraska right now, hey, you want to go back to the Big 12? They would probably say, well, let's see who else is going to be there. But yeah, that wouldn't be the end of the world. If you just said that before Oklahoma, Texas, Nebraska would have jumped at that.
Yeah.
Now, you can't tell me that Nebraska would be like, yeah, hey, the Pac-12 wants us to join? Sure, let's do it. I firmly believe. The problem is, and here this goes back to the heart of the conversation, schools like Nebraska aren't going to leave the money they're making in the Big Ten to go to the Pac-12 because you're not going to make money in the Pac-12.
Yeah, and I don't think that if for the Pac-12, the conversation should be, you got to fix the camera there, Donnie.
Oh, I'm sorry. My bad.
Yeah, there you go. The conversation shouldn't be trying to get, schools like Nebraska to join your conference. The conversation needs to be, how do we get USC to be more relevant? How do we get,
Yes.
Washington,
Yes.
Oregon, bless their heart, Colorado. How do we get Colorado to be just a little bit better? They don't have to be national championship good, but one, maybe two more wins better a year, like quality-wise, depth chart on your roster-wise.
It's money.
Talent-wise. And yeah, and I agree. It's money, and it's facilities, and it's recruiting, and it's actually trying. Because I do, think about this. Like, on the surface, if you're just a casual observer of football, you're not following all this expansion crap and, all the extracurriculars that go on in the Pac-12. If you're just looking at the schedule, and you're saying, wow, USC and Oregon, that should be a great matchup. When you see that on paper, that's an exciting matchup if you didn't know any better. And that's why I think the Pac-12 they don't have that far to go to be good, but they just won't do the extra little things that the SEC is doing, that the ACC is doing to be a great conference. I mean, college football is the SEC plus Clemson plus Ohio State. That's what college football is. And if someone happens to come out of the Pac-12, neat. but damn near every year the playoff has been around. It's the SEC, and frankly, the top 4 teams in the SEC, plus Clemson, plus Ohio State. That's what we do every single year.
Yeah, and it is the frustration of BYU fans, because you're in a situation now where BYU should be the number one target of any conference.
Yeah,
that's expanding. And if that is the Big 12, if that and this is the amazing part about the Pac-12. Research institutions and land grants and my mom's underwear. Shut up.
My fucking ass.
If you want it, you can have it. If you want it, if you want as Oklahoma to get into the big boy, end of the pool, the deep end of the pool, you go to the SEC.
I want it.
How long has Texas been looking to get away from the Big 12?
Forever. Long
Years.
time.
And they finally did it. If you really wanted to win national championships, if you are the Pac-12, you would have expanded and you would have already added BYU. To bring in a natural rival to Utah, to make that a marquee television game that could have conference championship and thereby national championship implications.
To add more ESPN exposure to your conference?
Come on. Are you really telling me that you don't believe that BYU is a solid athletic addition to any conference? You're better than that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the conversation we wind up having all the time. And it's this tipping point of, well, if BYU joins the Pac-12, I actually think it's possibly a step back from where they are right now.
Yeah.
Because Tom Holmoe made it very clear weeks ago, BYU Athletics is making money.
Yep.
And they're doing that through BYU TV. They're doing that through, the radio network. They're
doing it through the flexibility they have as an independent. That's
absolutely,
how they're doing it.
Absolutely. And to be on a dominant stick like KSL, to have the radio affiliates they have, to have BYU TV, to have the coaches shows every week.
And think about that. But all these things you're naming, these are all things the Pac-12 could be doing.
But the problem is that individual schools can't go and do that because, the media rights in the Pac-12 belong to the conference. And if I am Texas, the Pac-12 is not even an option because I've got the Longhorn Network.
Yeah.
If you are BYU, why would you sign away your media rights to the Pac-12?
Yeah, and that.
Why would you do that?
And that's a great point. I mean, the Pac-12 isn't helping itself. The Pac-12 is in that way. The Pac-12 is limiting itself, and who would want to join their, air quotes, their team, right? Like, why would somebody want to come to the Pac-12 who's already got an established TV network, who's already got all this stuff lined out that they've been working their ass off to set up, and then you're going to go and join a conference in the Pac-12 where you can't use any of that? That doesn't make too much sense.
And here's the other problem. You've been an independent long enough now that you're actually swimming. You're not just treading water anymore. You are rocketing, floating on top of the water, if you will.
Yeah.
You're not just treading. The BYU Athletics is making money as an independent. And I look at BYU football, which is what we're talking about, obviously. You look at BYU football. They've got a great TV deal. They've got all the media stuff. They dominate social media. Their content creation, their content team is fantastic.
Yeah.
You've got a really good football program in that your athletic director and your coach are in lockstep. You have an athletic director that is doing everything he can do to build a schedule to put you in the conversation. I don't know that there are many places that are going to be better for BYU than independents. I look at this Apostle Holland situation with his talk on Monday. This is how do I say this gently? Apostle Holland's words are not problematic. They're actually probably refreshing to a large number of LDS members. And notice he wasn't talking about football. And if you missed it somehow, and I don't know how you would miss it, but Apostle Holland essentially said that Jesus Christ loves his sinners, but he doesn't agree with their sins. And if you are a faculty member, or he essentially said, if you are in the LDS community and if you are a BYU student, faculty member, and you see people that are outside of the faith or living outside of the tenets of the LDS faith, it is your job to say something and do something. And he pointed that right. I think a lot of people, and I can't disagree, that Apostle Holland pointed his comments right at the LGBTQ community.
Yeah.
And the ever-growing prominence of the gay community at BYU was not appreciative of his comments.
Well, and I think, for those of you who don't live in Salt Lake, for our California listeners, our Phoenix listeners, folks who are not in the state, there's this dynamic at play when we're having this conversation where the LGBTQ community is growing rapidly in Salt Lake City proper. There is a large community for those folks. And so when you go to Provo, which is about, I don't know, what do you think, 40 miles south?
Yeah.
Probably. It's close enough, but it's far enough away where it's kind of two separate landscapes. You have in Utah County down south where BYU is, it's very, very different. It's very conservative. It's very much a different world. But that community, the LGBTQ community, is still growing. So there's a lot when Apostle Hollins is having this conversation and sharing his thoughts on this. Obviously, it impacted a lot of people in a lot of different ways. And
yes.
I think it's it's not an easy discussion, but I think if you're at BYU, this is right on point. This is what you would expect somebody at BYU to say.
But I grew up Catholic, like the whole way. Mm-hmm. Like I was an altar boy, went to church.
Everything.
Like the whole nine.
Yeah, everything.
I cannot tell you how many times I heard, but we love the sinner, but we hate the sin.
That's enough of that crap.
And if you're gay, if you're a homosexual, you're going to hell.
Oh, what a loser!
Now give us your money, please. Thanks. Like, that's what the Catholic Church is. And so when we start comparing faiths, which is always a terrible idea, and you delineate this down to how this impacts football, tell me that any of the church leadership at Notre Dame would disagree with what Apostle Holland said. Because he basically said, we are going to love all LGBTQ members. We love them, unequivocally. But do not confuse our love with condoning. Do not confuse our love with approval. And it becomes problematic when you have a conference like the Pac-12 where, gay pride and the gay community and the trans Q community in the Pac-12 is massive. It is significant.
You think that stuff isn't a big deal in Berkeley?
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, if you look at Berkeley, Stanford, Los Angeles, now obviously the worlds collide because there ain't nothing in Corvallis that's in common with Los Angeles. The campus of USC is in South Central Los Angeles, and there's nothing in sync with Corvallis and Los Angeles. There just isn't. So you can coexist if you want to. But to be back to the point, what Apostle Holland did was exactly what you would want one of the Quorum of 12 to do. He talked about the word. He talked about the sacred beliefs, the way that you act. It's why we have BYU Idaho and BYU Provo, right? To me, Apostle Holland said nothing wrong.
And just for those who don't know the difference, what would you say the difference is between
BYU Idaho is far more conservative and restricting in your actions. Like, I know people who have gotten kicked out of BYU Idaho for the movies they watch in their dorm room with their roommates. Basically, BYU Idaho is just a lot more restrictive and conservative. And I think there is a push amongst the youth in the church right now to make BYU Provo a lot more liberal, a lot more open, a lot less conservative. And I think part of what Apostle Holland was saying was, we're not doing that. Now, if you agree with the faith, that's cool. If you don't, that's cool. But there's no getting around the fact that what Apostle Holland said was absolute doctrine. He said, we are going to love the sinner unequivocally, but we are not going to condone or love their sins.
Yeah.
And I just don't have that much of a problem with it because it goes back to what Bronco Mendenhall always used to say.
Yep.
Football is fifth. Football is not and never will be number one at BYU. And that's exactly how it should be.
Yet they have a media rights deal, and they have Built Bar deals, and they have a beautiful facility, and they're making money. And the Pac-12 is still tripping all over themselves and continuing to faceplant every single year.
I think that the best of BYU is exactly why they would never get into the Pac-12. But I don't think you want into the Pac-12 today. I really don't.
Yeah.
I think you want into the Big 12. And I think now that Texas and Oklahoma are out, this political and religious, conversation really is far, far less impactful because there is a certain air of desperation in the Big 12. And you're willing to overlook Sunday play to get an institution like BYU that makes you money and puts you on national TV and puts the logo on national TV. That's what BYU does. Now, you want to go and get Boise State? I mean, their blue turf is cool, but are they going to make you the money that BYU's making you?
Not even close.
Not even close.
Not even close.
I mean, with all due respect to Aggie tiers, do you want to go get Utah State?
Nah.
Figure it out. Any other member of a G5? You want to go and get Temple? Oh, it's a fine, upstanding institution of higher learning. Yeah, get out of here. BYU is the best available property by far. They've got everything you want. If you're the Pac-12?
What's the excuse going to be?
When they join the Big 12, it's a loss for the Pac-12. Now, BYU's not a fit in the SEC. BYU is likely not a fit in the Coastal. Based on geography. At some point, geography has to matter.
Yeah.
I think that the Big Ten doesn't want to expand its footprint past Nebraska. I could see them going east, not west. BYU belongs in the Big 12. That's the conference that makes the most sense. All right, let's get some of your comments in here. Let's see who I have tweaked this morning. Jeremy Bolton says, morning, gents. James Knight says, how they hanging, mates? What's up? Cody Strickland says, hey, boys, the new Spider-Man movie looks badass. I'm an adult. No, I'm kidding. That was more a shot at Jake, let's watch Lord of the Rings tonight.
There's life lessons.
Yeah, the fish, she swims into the ocean and they go and save him.
Hey, look here, man.
Oklahoma gets in there every time too, but then they proceed to get smashed, Jeremy Bolton says. Well, same thing with Notre Dame. Mm-hmm. Notre Dame has a predetermined seat at the table. How's that worked out for Alabama? Very well. Jeremy Bolton says BYU by all means is a P5 team, but not in the P5 in a P5 conference, no doubt. Jackson Graham says if it's about football, they would have been in already. Well, right, but the landscape changes. The Pac-12 didn't need BYU, and now they need BYU. So there are loud calls for the Big 12 to add BYU. I don't know. Should the Big 12 just dissolve itself? I doubt that.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a tough question to answer. I think it depends what options are presented to them. You have to figure out what you can get done before you can make decisions like that.
I don't think the Big 12. I don't know, man. I don't think the Big 12 should dissolve itself. I really don't. If you think about.
Listen, if BYU can get into the conference, why would they dissolve themselves? Why, if they can get that deal done, why would you dissolve yourself? You wouldn't. But, if you're looking at, if you're looking at lower end teams and, it doesn't make sense financially, then yeah, they will. But I just think that there's too much opportunity.
This is a conversation around, let's add Cincinnati. Cincinnati, the Bearcats, my God. How did that work out for you?
Not good.
Oh, but we got East Carolina and
My fucking ass.
the schools that are being talked about, like adding Navy to the Big 12 was something I heard the other day.
No.
What are we talking about? The AAC with teams like Cincinnati, East Carolina, and Navy, those are good schools. I don't give a daggum grip about South Florida.
Yeah, who cares?
Does South Florida fit with Baylor, Iowa State, Kansas, K-State?
No.
Oklahoma State, TCU, Texas Tech, West Virginia?
No.
They don't. They don't.
You're telling me West Virginia is more of a commodity than BYU? Come on.
Yeah, I'm telling you right now, BYU. If you had BYU in one other school, and my guess is that if you are going to go to, pick your Conference USA, I don't know that there's a team in Conference USA that works. I mean, there. In fact, I know there's not. Okay,
Yeah.
well, if we go to the MAC, the MAC.
But why would they do that?
Why would you? Are you going to go to a school in Buffalo or any of the
you're-
Ohio MAC schools?
Listen, BYU is going to stay independent until they get into a P5. It's that simple.
The two that make sense for the Big 12 are BYU, and I agree with the people who are saying San Diego State.
Yeah.
San Diego State makes a hell of a lot of sense. I could see BYU and Boise State. I could see. I mean, look, Boise State is not the Statue of Liberty play for a national championship so I can propose to my girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
They're not.
Yeah.
And when you look at what's out there, I'm telling you that if we're going mountain, I don't know how you don't take San Diego State. If you are hell bent, and a lot of people think the AAC is where teams are going to get picked from. What in the AAC says to you, these are the teams in the American Athletic Conference.
Yeah.
Cincinnati, East Carolina, Houston, perfect fit in the Big 12, in my opinion. Memphis, no. Navy, SMU, SMU.
Nah.
Can you ever go home? South Florida, Temple, Tulane, Tulsa, UCF.
Nah.
I think the two that make sense there are Houston and SMU for the footprint and the lineage of football. But do you tell me SMU or Houston's a better property than BYU?
Yeah. The options are clear. I
think so.
The options are clear.
I don't know, though. The thing that really stands out to me is, what do you need if you're BYU to join a conference? Because, again, I know I'm probably the only one who says this. You're living very well in independence.
You are. I mean, you're not. So here's the thing. The question, the balls of the conversation for BYU are how much does it matter to us to try and win a national championship in football? That's the question, because if you really think about it, what are they not getting in independence that they would get by joining a conference? That's the real issue here. For BYU fans, you're sitting here saying, damn, I want to be a bowl team every year, and I want to do that at 10 wins. That's what I want. I want it. And I can't get it every single year because Tom Holmoe is too damn good at his job and has LSU coming up on the calendar. So I think for BYU the real struggle here is that overall there's not incentives to move. We just discussed how it doesn't make sense to go to the Pac-12, so cross that off the list. You're not a fit in the SEC. Cross that off the list. You're not going to play on the East Coast, an East Coast-based conference, so cross that off the list. So to your point, the Big 12 is where it's at.
Yeah.
That's where it's at for you, both geographically, and for the rules and the things that you need to work out. But the point is, at the end of the day, does joining the Big 12 improve your odds of winning a national championship the day after you join the conference? Because I think you can make a case. I'm not saying it's 100% true, but you can definitely make a case that it doesn't. That if they would just recruit better, if BYU would continue to improve the talent that they bring into the program, and
which
which they are, it's a slow process, they are, but they need to be a 10, 11 win team every year to be in the college football playoff.
Yeah, and I think that's why if I'm BYU, I am not in a hurry.
And by doing that, you put all this conference realignment nonsense to bed, and you're just like, dude, we're an independent, we're chilling, we're going to continue to add, NIL deals, we're going to continue to recruit at a really high level, and one of these years, it's going to happen, and I think that's just where it's at.
Jeremy Bolton says people are taking Holland's talk way out of context. Like, did anyone actually read or listen to his talk? I listened to it, even paid attention because I didn't want to miss anything, and I don't get it. He wasn't mean or offensive. Well,
the analogy about defending the face with muskets is a little excessive.
But ask yourself this question, Jeremy. How much empathy do you have for the LGBTQ community? Because if you are if you are a lesbian student at BYU, if you are a trans student at BYU, if you are in that community, you're offended. There's no doubt. Because what Apostle Holland said was, hey, if you're gay, you're
going to hell.
I mean, that's cool, but yeah, I'm not having you over for dinner. I mean, I love you, and I'll help you with your homework, but I can't have you around the kids.
God bless.
That's what it feels, right? I mean, that's what it feels like.
Yeah.
Did he say that? No.
But he said it.
But if you're an LGBTQ student at BYU, that's what it feels like.
Okay, fuck you. How's that?
Can you walk into church this Sunday as a gay man at BYU and feel truly accepted?
Obviously not.
Can you, if you are a trans student that is not out, let's put it this way, if you are a gay, lesbian, trans student who is not out at BYU, how comfortable are you in church this Sunday? After that talk, I'm not real comfortable. I might not feel well Sunday morning. And I'm being serious. Like, and think about, and now I think it needs to be said, if you are a closeted gay man or woman at BYU, you knew you were going to feel this way.
At some point.
You knew. Because this is what BYU is. I mean, this is not a secret. This is like non-members, signing the honor code. You knew it was going to be difficult.
Yeah.
If you're a guy that, if you're a guy that plays football and you drink beer and you go to BYU, you're probably going to get a ticket for, possession by consumption.
I think that's HIPAA.
That could be HIPAA. That's a good point. But my point is that you know what you're in for when you come to BYU. It's not like BYU tries to hide things, right? But the point is, when we are talking about the explosion of youth in the church and the dissension of youth in the church and the separation of youth from the church, I don't know that I would equate this to mountains out of molehills, because there are some damaged feelings. And those are real feelings. Those are real humans that are struggling with their gender identity in some cases. They're struggling with the ability to feel like they are, they belong at BYU. So I think we need to empathize with those that Apostle Holland was talking to. And having read the transcript of and watched, I haven't watched the full talk. Obviously, I've seen highlights of it because they're everywhere. Maybe I need to sit down and watch the full talk, because I still think hearing him say the musket thing is a problem.
Yeah.
The
That
musket
was
thing's a
inappropriate
problem.
for sure.
Yeah, I did not love that. I mean, his message resonates with me.
The message is on point for the beliefs of the church, but for
It is.
anybody outside of their little atmosphere there down in Provo, it was not cool.
Yeah, if you're outside of the Provo bubble, it's
And,
not.
and that's the thing. Like, I don't mean any disrespect by that, but the fact is these guys, guys like Collins are living in a bubble, dude. Like, I understand who you are and what your job description is and what you try to live your life, inside of. But the fact is your little 1 by 1 mile of people that you're talking to is not representative of the entire state, and it's certainly not representative of anybody living in Salt Lake County.
Well, I think, I don't know about that. I mean, I think, and this is probably a different conversation. I don't know. I mean, the church has evolved so much in the last 10 years. I mean, the membership has evolved so much in the last 10 years.
But here's what I think they got to be careful of, and this is just my opinion. I could be completely wrong. The in Utah. So we lived here in Utah once before, about 5 years ago now, before we moved to Phoenix. 5 years ago in Utah, this state was very different, right? This state was much more conservative than it is
Absolutely.
now. And so the point that I'm getting at here is just that when Apostle Hollins is giving, talks or speeches, whatever you want to call it, like this, and he's saying the things he's saying, I hope that he does that with an understanding that they are going to be criticized. They are going to be that's going to be a problem with a lot of people.
I think that's part of the reason you give a talk like that.
Yeah.
Because you want the conversation. You want people on Family Home Evening talking about, hey, did you hear what Apostle Holland said? You want these conversations.
Yeah.
And this is part of the problem, to your point. When you are religious and you live in a home that is very religious and devout, there's not a whole lot of conversations about your gay son or your gay daughter or your trans daughter, or
nope.
There's not a whole lot of that conversation happening. Not on Monday, not on Wednesday, not on Sunday.
Definitely not on Sunday.
Right? And in a lot of corners of the LDS community, having a gay or lesbian or trans child ostracizes you.
Yeah.
Certainly ostracizes that child. Right? So the difficult dynamic of the church, I think, has changed quite a bit. And I think every once in a while the quorum has to make it known that, oh yeah, this is a great youth movement we're having, but don't forget, hey, we're over here.
Yeah.
Hey, don't forget.
Nothing's changed.
We're going to love the sinner unequivocally, but that does not mean we are going to accept you. That does not mean that we are going to condone what you're doing. That does not mean that you have a temple recommend. Think about how this applies to people's lives.
Yeah.
Hey, you're a lesbian? Oh, you're gay? Yeah, that mission you've always dreamed of, it's full right now. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Full inclusion.
Yeah.
Think about it this way. If you're a gay male student at BYU, how many doors are open to you?
Not many.
But how many doors are closed to you?
Lots.
A lot.
Lots.
When you see a friend or a teacher or a professor, are they the question is, and this is what people have been talking about. Okay, so are you supposed to be one person while I'm standing in front of you, and then when you leave, are you like, whoa, whew, man?
Well,
did you see Jenny? Jenny's a lesbian. Everybody, wash your hands. That's what it feels like.
Yeah, but I think the fact is for someone living that existence every day, it's not should you or shouldn't you. You are. You don't have a choice. You can't be it's not going to be acceptable for you to be openly gay and go get your education at BYU. And this is the underlying fight that I think the gay community and the LGBTQ community faces.
But don't you face the same thing in the Baptist church? Don't you face the same thing in the Catholic church?
Yeah, the difference is that this is BYU we're talking about, and football's in the background, and the only school that you can think of is Notre Dame.
Well, that's true. But this is not, and I hate the conversation of, wow, Apostle Holland just screwed us on getting into a P5. No, he didn't.
No, he didn't. It has nothing to do with that.
This is who BYU's always been and always going to be.
Yeah.
Let's not, and don't conflate the city, you are not. Oh, well, hey, you know what? I'm a AD in the Big 12. Did you hear what Apostle Holland said? Nope, can't vote for BYU. You're much more concerned with, okay, well, we only have, we have 2 spots open. Let's go get Temple and Southern University of Arkansas, Texarkana, Weed Eater, Landscape Technical College of Houston. But what about BYU? Well, no, I was listening to Apostle Holland's talk a couple of years ago. No, they're out.
And we were saying that.
Are you serious? You really?
You can't tell me that Texas Christian University doesn't have these same conversations.
They do.
You can't tell me that any of the other fly under the radar Christian, Catholic, Buddhist-based schools don't have these same conversations.
Is there anybody at St. Mary's who thinks that BYU is a great fit? Are you kidding me right now?
And this is the thing,
it's money, man.
Yeah,
it's money.
All right, what are the commenters saying?
Let's see. Casey Finlinson. It's the hardline members that feel they can interpret things said to fill their own agenda that are making it uncomfortable for LGBTQ members. God said, love him and love your neighbor, not judging. Wow, that's a heavy comment. That's a different show. I agree with you. I agree with you. There's nothing. Yeah, I agree with you. Josh Lovren, does Apostle Holland's comments keep BYU out of a P5? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Jeremy Bolton says the church won't fully accept LGBTQ community, but they sure as hell will accept the tithing. Absolutely, Giggity says.
Yep, and I agree with that.
They will. Jeremy Bolton says, I have tons of empathy for the LGBTQ community. My sister and my niece are gay. I love them. I also agree that they don't feel 100% comfortable about going to church. The area they live in are incredible. I think, when I lived in Sandy, I had a great neighborhood. I had great neighbors. I had a stake president to my right, and I had Bishopric to my left and across the street. Like, we were in a very strong LDS community. And I don't know. I don't know how my neighbors and the LDS people I feel, but I was never uncomfortable living. I am not obviously a member of the church, but I don't feel uncomfortable around LDS people. I don't feel like I was judged because I'm not a member of the church.
But I think, so to me, though, that's different. Not being a member of the church, and being at peace with who you are is a very different conversation than being a member of a church but being super conflicted on the inside having to appease
what my
people.
point is I think that most members of the LDS community will look down on you. But I think what you also get is there's a large population in the church community that will embrace you and will treat you no differently than they treat their member neighbor. That will treat you now, behind closed doors, I have no idea what people do, and frankly, I don't care. It's none of my business. But we were invited to barbecues. I don't believe that in everyday LDS America, he's gay, can't have him at my barbecue. I just don't think that happens. Not on the regular. Not in people that are 25 to 40 right now. I don't believe they're like, oh, she's a lesbian. No, can't have her around Jimmy and Jane.
They absolutely, in my opinion, look at folks who are straight but not an LDS member differently than they look at someone who is or is not an LDS member but is gay or part of the LGBT community.
The stigma is absolute, but I don't think that we went to a house party in our old neighborhood that was completely, a mix of humanity. LDS, not LDS, drinkers, not drinkers, we had hardcore LDS neighbors who were huge fans of sports, and their neighbor had a huge house party, and everybody came to the house party, and the LDS community was there. I just think we're making a lot more of this in today's real world, on the street, LDS community than needs to be made. With all due respect, Apostle Holland does not represent my generation or your generation, and we are the two largest generations in the church.
Yeah.
So, is what it is. Casey Finland said it's hardline members. Yes, I would agree with that. Joshua Lovren, it did before, but the whole Prop 8 out, that totally kept BYU out of the Big 12. Yeah, probably. Brandon Whiteside said, should religions condone adultery? The list goes on and on. You can still accept, include, and help anyone as everyone is signing. But if you believe in God, there are rules.
Yeah.
Yeah, sinning. Yeah, everyone is sinning. I agree with that. There are rules. But I've never heard Jesus Christ write or say, hey, watch out, the gays are around the corner. Go that way.
God bless.
You know what I'm saying? That's just not accurate, in my opinion. Let's see. There's a lot of comments on this, as you would imagine. Craig is the Bob says, hey, good morning. Just wanted to say hi since I'm never up this early for work and listen every day without the ability to comment live. Love what you both do. I'm gunning for the smoker. Local too, so don't worry about shipping.
No, let's go, Craig.
All All right, Craig won. Dude, we're giving away an Ironwood 650 smoker.
Ironwood.
When we get to 2,500. And we'll give it away if you're in Europe or China, or I know we have a lot of Singapore, Australia, New Zealand. Somehow on this show, thank you, Joe Ingles.
Thank you, Jordan Clarkson.
I mean, we'll ship it to you on a boat that goes around the world and takes a really long time. If you live in Utah, we'll hand deliver it to you, but don't want to pay shipping. You know, like, can you imagine what it would cost to ship that?
Probably 1,000.
Oh my God. Jackson Graham says, "What's wrong with Texarkana? LOL. I live there. Nothing. They've got some great, weed eater repair technical institutes with football prowess. I mean,
My fucking ass.
yeah, they probably don't." Jeremy Bolton says, "Casey Finlinson, like what you're saying, it is hard. It's a hard balance. I do believe, however, the honor code needs to be tweaked a little bit." That different.
Yeah,
different show.
we're not getting into that today.
Spencer Morgan says, "LDS theology is too irreversibly tied to traditional gender and heterosexuality." True.
True.
That is the defining belief of the church as a voluntary association. It's voluntary, I guess, but there's a lot of homes in this state where it's not voluntary.
Yeah.
And I think Spencer knows that. Brylark says, "My cousin was a former BYU student, went on his mission, came out last year. The whole situation with his family was wild. His family acted like they were the victims."
Oh my God, man! How could this happen? My son is gay.
Well, that isn't unique to the LDS community. I can tell you that right now. That happens a lot. Craig is the Bob says, "At the end of the day, it comes down to BYU bringing that money." I agree with that 100%.
Which they do.
Kenny says, "My bro came out to me, but you just got to treat them the same as always." You do. Because it's not, we've got to stop this thing where, being gay is a choice. And I'm telling you now, the mental damage that we do by forcing people to live closeted, secret lives, it's not right. It's not fair. It's not humane. People need to be able to openly communicate and talk about their issues and be who they are. And again, not to keep talking about our lives, but we work at Yelp. And Yelp, over the last 2 years, has gone through an acceptance revolution. And it is a place of acceptance and openness, and we ballin' too. We making paper. Mm-hmm. Anyway, and it's one of the things that I really appreciate about Yelp is that you can just be who you are.
Yeah.
For better or for worse. And that's difficult. And Kenny, I'm sure that I don't know where you stand on it, but it's really difficult for people like your brother to come to you and say, "Hey man, I need to let you know I want to tell you this. I want to tell you I'm gay."
I mean, you guys realize that, like, there are people killing themselves instead of coming out. Like,
yeah.
We get that, right? Like, that's a problem.
It really is.
That's a problem, dude.
Neville93 says, "Love your show, guys. Keep it up. But when are you going to start talking about the Jazz? When they get back to training camp?"
I don't know. Yeah, when training camp opens.
We're not talking about the Jazz until they trade the frickin' Rudy Gobert. Okay, let's move on. Brandon Whiteside said, "Brandon Davies broke the rules and he was okay with sitting out. Doesn't mean they hated on Davies." No, true. But I look at the Harvey Ungas of the world. We could point to a number of people. Spencer Morgan said, "Time to form a super conference of religious schools." My goodness.
Oh, Jesus.
And sadly for BYU, Jesus is a Notre Dame fan. So,
You're not wrong.
God bless.
A little late. That's why we had that
But they have Joseph.
fumble against, from what I'm not going to make. No, we went through this with Jesus and Joseph as our. We asked who would be the point guard, Jesus or Joseph Smith, and people lost their frickin' minds.
I'll drop that motherfucker.
It was a joke. We were just having some fun. Who would be your quarterback, Jesus Christ or Joseph Smith?
Or Tim Tebow.
Wow, now you've done it.
God bless.
Oh my God! Cody Strickland says, "I have to say, looking at the Jazz schedule, I see a lot of respect this year. We have a lot of primetime TV, holiday airtime. You have the
schedule is cake, dude.
The Jazz schedule. I don't know what happened. Okay, who had the best record last year? Oh, the Jazz did? Okay, give them the easiest schedule. Because that's what happened. The Jazz have a cake schedule.
That's every day.
I mean, if you're a Jazz fan, this has been the perfect offseason. Amazing. Craig is the Bob says, I'll come pick that sucker up myself with a Papa John's as a parting gift.
Let's go.
There you go. Well, I'm local too, Cody Strickland says. Did you guys see that 2 high-profile school football games here in Utah were canceled because of COVID protocol? Yeah, over 275 kids tested positive yesterday. Yeah,
just a couple.
Get used to it. Get used to it because
no, we're not doing it. Nope.
Casey?
It's Friday. We're not. We've already talked about sinners and people dying, and like we're past that now.
Casey, we've warned you about coming in here and stirring the pot. We've warned you about that. And here you go, talking about mask mandates again. I'm kidding. There's going to be a lot of cancellations. This thing in the NFL with the Titans and positive people who are vaccinated
the
testing
Bills,
positive.
The Titans.
Well, no, the Bills and the Titans are different because they're. The story is that Tannehill and Vrabel are vaccinated, and they still tested positive. Well, with the Delta variant, put on a mask, get vaccinated. With the Delta variant, you as a vaccinated person could still get COVID and spread
It's an antibody cocktail.
I mean, the rules in the NFL about non-vaccinated players do not apply to vaccinated players that test positive.
Because they're vaccinated.
It doesn't apply. This is the content I stay up for, LOL, LMAO. Yeah, probably. Tanner Plummer, Monty, what do you think of the movie Rudy? It sucked. And Kenny, Jesus is definitely a forward, though. Jesus Christ is a power forward. A power forward from Nazareth. Jesus Christ. What would Jesus' height be? Man.
I don't know.
Okay, well, Michael Jordan, 6'6", right? No?
I don't know. Sure.
Michael Jordan or LeBron James.
Don't.
Stop.
Don't.
No.
Do not.
Please don't. All right. Can we switch gears a little bit? And, since we're talking about religion. Now, birth control is a problem in religion. Okay? Jake knows where I'm going. Let's talk about birth control, specifically for men.
You gotta fuck one, marry one, kill one. Go.
You could use a condom.
Mm-hmm.
You could use at BYU. You don't take your jeans off.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, that was a little funny. You could get snipped.
Mm-hmm.
The rhythm method.
Right. Okay.
Or you could just epoxy your cock.
I want better fucking execution.
We started this story yesterday, but ran out of time.
Bro.
I have to tell this story. Okay, so I'm a guy who, I was like a 7 condom guy when I was single. Okay? Like, I ain't planting flowers in nobody's garden.
I want it.
Police are probing the bizarre case of
Probing. Just the fact that they use the word probing in this story is amazing.
This is from the New York Post. The New York Post. We should be surprised. Police are probing the bizarre case of a 25-year-old Indian man who suddenly died after using a high-powered epoxy resin on his cock instead of a condom.
I think that's HIPAA.
The police said they used an adhesive to avoid pregnancy.
Just so you can go to Pound Town.
This occurred June 22nd at a hotel in Ahmedabad, Gujarat.
Y'all about to fuck this up.
According to a senior Ahmedabad city police officer, Solomon Mirza of Fetawadi and his unnamed ex-fiancee, well, he's dead, so she's single, were captured. Probably too harsh. Were captured on closed-circuit TV entering a Fatal Flophouse in Juapura, Ahmedabad,
Afghanistan.
There you go. Thank you. Several witnesses said Mirza, along with his former fiancee, she's single because he epoxied his penis, both of whom were addicted to drugs, had gone to the hotel. They there, they applied an epoxy adhesive to his cock.
Here's what's going to happen, Tonto.
As they were not carrying any condoms or other prophylactic devices. In addition to sealing Mirza's manhood, the couple also mixed the epoxy with whitener and inhaled the mixture to get high.
Cocaine
Whoops.
is a hell of a drug.
The Lovebird acquaintances told an official the doomed duo were intoxicated from the chemical cocktail at the time that they epoxied that man's cock.
All gas, no brake.
The next day, Mirza's acquaintance discovered the man lying unconscious in the shrubs of an apartment complex. He was pronounced dead of multiple organ failure.
That's quite enough. We get it.
Last we checked, his fiancée did not get pregnant.
Wow.
Okay, I've heard some crazy,
Dude.
hey, after you have sex, have the woman stand up, jump up and down. I've heard some crazy birth control stories. I'm not putting an epoxy resin on this D for nobody.
What's an erection?
I'm not doing okay, I get it. Condoms are uncomfortable. They're sold out of magnums. You have no choice.
Yeah.
Let's use an epoxy resin that we're then, after we put it on our phallic symbol, we're then going to mix up in a drink and inhale it. So
It's
that
a
we
perfectly calibrated recipe for maximum personal achievement.
Well, that might be true, but here's a question. If you put an epoxy resin on this D, does it still work? Like if you encase your schlong in epoxy resin, can you still run the flag up the pole?
Well, wouldn't you run the flag up the pole first?
Okay, now you're complicating things.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying, like, if you really think about this.
I don't know. Cody Strickland has 3 straight comments filtered. Not sure what you said there, Spike. Spencer Morgan says, Jesus is a relief pitcher. He always saves.
God bless.
No COVID talk on Fridays. Exactly right.
Nope.
Brylark says, what the is a flop house? Don't do drugs, kids. Monty, okay, that's a filtered comment. Now it's gone. I believe it was, what do you refer to your penis as? I don't have a name for it. I don't know. I'm not going to have that conversation. Kenny says, I would die for Craig Bowlerjack. Wow. Okay. I've never seen this kind of stuff in those don't do drugs commercials back in the day. No, they didn't have epoxy resin in the don't do drugs.
That's kind of next level.
Nancy Reagan wasn't talking about, you want to talk about a gateway drug, epoxy resin. My God.
Dude.
Craig Bowlerjack sucks. I can't stand his voice.
Wow.
Tanner Plummer.
Yeah.
He's a beloved figure. No, I'll stop. Fat Jesus says, I'm impressed that they were high but still worried about getting pregnant.
It's an excellent point.
That's a really good point. Like, are you a condom guy? Like, well, you don't have sex. Never mind. Why am I asking you? That's like asking somebody who can't drive how to use stick or something. Yeah. Anyway, are you a
Not particularly. I'm not a huge fan, but at some point you run out of options.
Raw dog!
Yeah. I mean, come on.
Oh, my God. The C word is amazing. I agree.
Yeah. I agree.
The
C word is amazing. Inappropriate for the show, but it's amazing.
Okay, here's the thing I don't understand.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why do people do odd things to their penises? Like, people that, pierce their penis? No, man.
Who does that?
No. People that, I don't understand. Like, there was a tattoo craze a while ago.
What?
Like, you're going to tattoo your little dude? Like, why would you do that?
You know how painful that must be?
Why would you do that?
Bro.
I don't know why you would do that.
Having fun is the name of the game.
That's not fun. I'm getting tattooed Saturday, and it ain't going to be my penis. I can tell you that.
So, all right. So, what are you getting tattooed?
I don't know. I don't know.
So you're just gonna walk into the shop and be like, "Hey, bro,
Let's roll. Yeah, I have an appointment with my guy Bergfalk at Panther House Tattoo in Salt Lake. I'm supposed to do my arm. Well, I know I'm doing it on my arm. I don't know what it is, and I don't know where he's putting it.
I have no idea what that was.
Wow, that came out wrong.
yeah."
I don't know what it is or where I'm getting tattooed.
Is epoxy involved?
It is not.
Okay, good. So you're probably gonna be fine.
I can guarantee you there will be no epoxy tattooed on my body.
Okay.
I'm shocked they haven't come out with a better male birth control yet. Well, what would that even look like? Because I'm not putting anything down the chute, if you know what I mean. Like, I'm not looking. Listen, man. I don't want to be the guy that's innovating for the birth control. I'm not going to be the guinea pig. I'm not going to be the guy who, let me be the first one to try putting that glass pipe down the shaft.
Because it's all part of the plan.
Let me be the first guy to epoxy my penis and see if that keeps her from getting pregnant. No. Because here's the question. How are you going to get that epoxy? Did you not think this through? No, they were high. That's right. How are you going to get that epoxy off your penis?
Don't know, dude.
Man, how much skin's going to be left?
Not much.
Just like, is the plumbing still going to be intact?
Is that a real question?
By the way,
Yeah.
if this guy had survived, hopefully he would have lost the ability to reproduce.
Yeah, and you notice
It's
how
the
he
same
died, right?
intelligence.
Like, this is important to the story, too.
In a bush outside of an apartment complex.
He died in a van down by the river.
Exactly. What is
And
this?
what did he die of? Multiple organ failure. So not only could you not get the epoxy off, you died because you couldn't urinate because it blocked your pathway, bro. Not good.
Oh my God. Yeah. What do you do when like
That's what I'm saying. He didn't die because his penis fell off. He died because he couldn't pee anymore because he epoxied his penis.
I don't know what to do about
Bro, what?
Don't ever have sex again. Just
Dude,
don't.
holy crap.
Just don't.
Wow.
Just don't. How's the dating life going, by the way?
Terrible. Same as it always has been. I mean,
how's the convenient one?
It's fine. It's her birthday today.
Oh
So,
God. So you're not available tonight?
I mean,
Okay,
yeah.
wait. Let's just talk about this.
Okay.
Okay, so when you have a friend with benefits,
Yeah.
it's their birthday. Do you buy them a birthday gift?
No.
Valentine's Day, do you give
Nope.
them a card?
Nope.
Your friend-iversary?
Nope.
Sweetest day?
Nope.
So nothing. They're just...
Sweetest Day is the services I provide.
So shaboom shebang every day, sweetest day, motherfucker. So shaboom shebang, you're in, you're out. No birthday gifts, no Christmas gifts.
That's it.
You put 40 on the tank at least, or what?
Nope.
Nothing.
Nope.
Okay. Was this in Mississippi or or southern Utah? No, this was in India, and he died in a bush
Down by the river.
down by the river.
Afghanistan.
When he peed, did his unit swell like it was a water balloon? My God!
My God.
Spinal.
Seriously, I didn't need that visual.
Oh, dude.
Good Lord. Cody Strickland says we need to do that to child pages as punishment as the epoxy, as the guy did. What? We need to do that to child pages? What does that mean, Cody Strickland? James Knight says give her a... No, James, he said the gift that you should give her is a piece of jewelry.
No.
I can't read that.
Nope.
I'm not going to
Nope.
say it.
Nope. Nope.
Fat Jesus says the benefit is the gift. Exactly
Yeah.
right.
I mean, come on, dude.
Exactly.
Like, Jesus.
Oh my! You know what? I think it's one of these things where you just need to get a hookup. Are we going to Hawaii in November?
I don't know, guy. I paid $3,000 for first class airfare, and now I get, well, listen, COVID is going to cancel your trip, so we're going to have to give you a credit for Delta. Great, thanks, douche.
Wow.
Douche canoes.
Chunky or smooth peanut butter? Creamy or chunky peanut butter?
Creamy.
So I ordered two. I only eat a certain type of peanut butter, natural peanut butter.
Mm-hmm.
So I ordered, I think it's Jif natural peanut butter on Amazon. And I like to mix protein powder on my toast. But it makes it very difficult when there's like chunky peanut butter. And I feel like a child when I eat chunky peanut butter.
Why?
Because it just seems stupid. Like,
seems like you're a caveman or something.
Why are we putting peanuts in peanut butter that's already got peanuts in it? It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Well, like, I don't need texture. I've got like peanut butter jelly, whole wheat, and some protein powder on my toast.
Okay, so then that's why you buy creamy.
But I did. They accidentally sent me chunky. So, Daryl Adams says the French developed underwear for men that pushed your sack up in the body so they'll be too hot and couldn't reproduce.
If you felt these balls,
wasn't pop, and now his comment disappeared. Sorry, buddy. Kenny says chunky for the win. No, don't start with
dude,
this.
Come on, man. Come on.
Kenny, I like you, but I will block that ass.
Bro, come on.
Chunky for the win.
I'll drop that motherfucker.
You will not come in here and talk about how chunky peanut butter is better. You won't. By the way, do you think protein powder works?
Yes.
There's this big thing. So I only use Ghost protein.
By the way, affiliate link in the description. Check
There
it out.
is a link, in the description below. Nutter butter is the flavor of the week.
Speaking of peanut butter.
Yeah, speaking of peanut butter. Does protein powder work? I think it works remarkably well. When I drink protein, I eat less. And right now I'm trying to be 3,000 calories or less a day. Really, I'd like to be 2,800 or less a day. And usually when I have protein, if I have fiber in the morning, so if I eat cereal that makes me poop in the morning, Heritage Flakes, amazing. And I have some, they had the Dave's Killer Rye Bread at Harmon's last night. So I'll have that today. And then I'll drop a nuke in the morning. It is what it is. But the point is that I think protein powder works. Like, we're really making gains at the gym, or at least I am. You're weak as...
Right.
No, you're not, actually. So we've really gotten into fitness the last 2 months. Really, the last 2 months, I've like taken it seriously. I've trained for purpose. I've started eating over the last month. I've eaten for a purpose, not because of pleasure. And it's made a difference.
Yep.
Like, I've really trimmed out. We've talked about this on the show. Like, I hate being fat. I'm like embarrassed by it. So I'm really working on it, and I've trimmed up. And it's crazy now that I can see like pecs, shoulders, traps, delts. Like, it's crazy, the development. I was standing in the mirror this morning and I looked down and I was aroused and I was trying to figure out why. Okay, too much.
Was there epoxy on the counter?
There was, actually.
Okay. Did you consider using it?
No.
Okay, good.
I just
All right.
wanted to
All
get
right.
high, so I drank it like those guys. He died in a bush outside of an apartment complex.
Of organ failure.
What happened to your son? He died in a bush because he epoxied his cock. Put that on his headstone. Died from an epoxied cock. Good luck. Does he get into heaven for that?
I mean,
I'm going to say no. Probably the sex outside of marriage and the drug use.
This case is empty.
And in the Catholic Church, you can't use birth control.
Empty. The opposite of full.
Anyway, the point is, I use protein powder.
yeah.
So,
all right. Yeah. Okay.
I was in the bathroom this morning, and one of the first times it actually struck me, I was like, I wasn't thinking about how fat I look. I was actually thinking, hey man, look at my traps, look at my shoulders, look at my triceps.
Yeah.
So yesterday we did 45 minutes of chest and triceps yesterday. And if you're a weightlifter, you'll understand that, like, when you bench press, the bench is flat, right? When you incline bench, the back of the bench is tilted up, and it's a much more difficult lift. So I can bench 225 on a flat bench, but I can only bench 125, I guess that would be, 135.
About half.
Incline. But we did incline dumbbell pressing yesterday as well. I was pretty happy. I could do 80 pounds. We did 70. The 80s were taken.
Yeah.
I could have easily done 8 reps at 80 pounds. I'm pretty impressed by that because on a flat bench, I can bench 100-pound dumbbells. But the point is, I think protein powder is incredibly important.
Yeah.
And Ghost, so here's what I like in protein powder. This is why I stopped using Optimum Nutrition and switched to Ghost. The taste of the protein powder has to be on lock. And so right now, I just got yesterday in the mail, I got a tub of cinnamon roll or cinnamon cereal milk, Ghost Protein.
Nice.
Tastes just like cinnamon cereal milk.
Yeah, their taste is awesome.
Their Nutter Butter is actually pretty good too. So the taste and the texture, if it doesn't dissolve in water, because I don't use milk, I use water. If it doesn't dissolve in water, I can't drink it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I completely agree.
I'm the guy who puts ice in the cup, a blender ball, the 2 scoops of powder, fill it up with water, and then I shake it and I let it sit there for 20 minutes.
Right.
And then I drink it.
Right.
That's what I need.
Yeah.
Fat Jesus says, can you please use medical terminology? It's epoxy penis, please. And his comment got filtered.
Well.
Jeez. Kenny says, I hope you guys know I'm eating a chunky PBJ right now, just in spite.
Bro.
Kenny?
Picture, it didn't happen. You got to tweet the picture, bro.
Kenny.
I want to see it.
Kenny, just for that, I hope one of those little peanut kernels gets caught in your gum, between your gum and your tooth. When it happens, think of me fondly. Brylark says, okay, what are you guys talking about? Like, Brylark and Tanner are having like some conversation about first ladies? I definitely think he's up there, but he repeatedly cheated on Jackie. Are you talking about the fucking Kennedys? Where did this come from? I look away for 2 minutes and Tanner's talking about Jackie O and JFK cheating on her. Guy, no offense to Jackie O, but it was Marilyn Monroe.
Was he going to say no?
It was hello, it's Marilyn Monroe. Do you know who that is? You probably don't. Marilyn Monroe.
What's an erection?
She was a smoke show.
Yeah. Come on.
She wants some of that heat.
She's getting it.
I'm turning on the ray gun, man. Anyway, so yes, I use protein. This is a ridiculous conversation. True, but when I judge presidents, I don't take into account, now we're judging presidents? I don't take into account their personal life. He got a beej in the Oval Office and got caught. What do you mean?
Wouldn't you take the beej in the Oval Office? I mean, come on, who are we
Not
kidding?
from Monica Lewinsky.
Come on.
Monica Lewinsky ain't no Marilyn Monroe.
Anyway.
You know what I'm saying. Real quick before we get out of here, this is what happens when the off season comes. Yes,
it's
exactly
true.
right.
This is what happens. That's a great point.
What's on the Traeger this weekend? Tonight we're doing pizza again from Papa Murphy's. By the way, I don't remember who initially on this show referred me to Papa Murphy's for Take and Bake, but God bless you. I am so thankful you did that. We'll do the Papa Murphy's pizza. And are they going to finish the yard today? So my landscaper's annoying me. I paid money for pavers, and the guy doesn't communicate. Like
It's not the best situation, and we all know that.
They were here all day, right?
Yesterday.
Okay. Just want to make sure I'm not missing a shoe drop. I'm pretty sure I'm not. They were here all day yesterday, and they actually got like the ground all up. They dug all the dirt up. They put down the road grade. They actually did the job. I'm not going to get these. Are you going to get these waffles?
No.
I'm going to do it. The fragment waffles, I can resell those. I resold some off-whites the other day and made like $300 on them. It was stupid.
Nice. Okay, get back to the story.
So they put down the road grade and stuff. These
Yeah.
are $170 for waffles.
Yeah.
Too late now. Hopefully I lose the draw. But they don't talk to you. So they show up at like 10, and you hear them out there. You don't see them out there. You hear them out there because I didn't know they were here. I'm hoping today that they show up and they put down pavers. Wow, my wife is wearing Chicago Cubs gear
Very
today.
festive
She's got
today.
it coordinated. You sexy muffin. Anyway, the point is,
All right.
I hope they put down pavers today so that we can actually have a paver backyard this weekend and smoke pizza on the pavers instead of on our walkway.
Right.
What are we going to smoke this weekend? The wife wants to smoke some veggie kebabs, so we got those last night.
Yeah.
She got some Kinder's veggie smoking rub that she wants to use.
Okay.
The chicken this week was amazing. I'm just about
Phenomenal.
out. I am just about out.
Yeah.
We could do more chickens. We haven't done wings in about 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Could do wings. I'm out on the brats, though.
Yeah, I know.
I think I'm out on the brats. They're really good, but they're just terrible for you.
I know. We have to eat the same food all the time. I get it. It's fine.
Giggity says, are the Padres going to even make the wild card game?
Dude, don't. Why? See, why you got to do that, bro?
How many people?
Giggity.
Is there a record for how many people get blocked on this show in one day?
Good luck.
Giggity, Thank you, Jake. Giggity, the Padres are the best team never to win anything that won't ever win anything. Just remember that. Ooh, what is this now? What is this now? There's a... the Nyjah Free 2 NBA is out. Let's go. They don't make it in a 15. Fuck you, Nike. Are you kidding me right now? Come on, bro. It's the Nyjah.
It's in the Nike
it's in
app.
the Nike
It's in
app.
the Nike
I'm sorry.
app.
Wow, that is really frustrating. Holy cow, bro. That is so frustrating. Why do they not make that shoe in a 15? That is a freaking amazing shoe.
Of course, I can't get the Nike app dope.
That is an amazing shoe. Man, that is frustrating. Anyway. Well,
that was an all-time moment right there.
I can't believe they don't make it in the 15.
It's an all-time moment.
How frustrating is this? I open up my Nike app.
Yes, my wife is going off.
Hey, welcome back. Why don't you select some preferences? And in the meantime,
We're selling out of the shoe you want. Yeah, my wife is losing her mind in the background.
look at the shoe I want. It wants me to fucking select.
Anyway, okay, I'm so frustrated with this right now. I did. Where's the NBA colorway? It's probably sold out. You're out of luck, babe. Sorry. My point is, where? Oh, here it is, right here.
Dude, you're killing
Britt, what size do you want? Come on,
Mrs. Monty is losing her shit
she is
in the
losing
background.
her mind. Here's the shoe. Here,
Okay.
There's the shoe. It's a Nyjah limited edition Laker colorway.
Just search Nyjah NBA.
She doesn't want it. She doesn't.
It would be nice if I had the choice to see it.
Yeah, I got it in a 14. I hope it fits.
I got it too.
I'm so frustrated that they don't make. Oh, and now there's a low powder blue. Let's get crazy. I have that shoe already.
Bro.
Screw you.
Bro.
What?
Relax.
I'm getting
Jesus.
excited. Let's go. Today's a good one.
Good God.
Cody Strickland
Damn.
says prayers for our troops in Kabul. This Afghanistan thing. No,
No,
Cody,
we're not doing it.
No,
Do
Cody,
not bring
we're
up
not doing it.
Afghanistan. Jesus.
That's like 9 people after
Get
block
back to the
today.
damn smoker.
Afghanistan.
Yeah.
No, Donnie,
no.
stop.
Afghanistan.
Are we doing wings? What do you want to do? I would do chickens again. I would do veggies again.
Yeah, I like the chickens because I can use that kind of chicken in a lot of different ways. There's a lot of flexibility.
All
in
I
that.
do is put it with
Yeah, I know,
veggies.
but like, let's say that you wanted to, make tacos out of it, or like,
Could you epoxy it to your penis?
No, nope.
You would have to keep the chicken whole and then epoxy the whole chicken. Well, now we're getting a little.
I have no idea what that was.
We'll move on. Thoughts on Taysom not being the starter? Duh.
It's obvious.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks this was a competition. It wasn't. Jameis Winston was always going to be the starter, and that's because he can only play quarterback, and Taysom can play like 10 positions.
True.
So why would you limit Taysom?
True. I agree with that. Sounds like Monty has roid rage, Fat Jesus says. When they don't make shoes in a 15, it really pisses me off. It's not my fault I'm well endowed. And you know what they say about guys who wear a size 15 shoe?
Yeah, big socks,
Yeah, damn right.
I'll try to stay calm and not curse.
Anyway, so what do we decide on here?
Chickens.
All right, we're doing whole chickens again. Are we going to do wings?
If you'd like to, yes.
I would at least to have wings to eat.
Okay.
I love wings, and they're
Okay, well,
they're
let's
not
get some
terrible.
then.
But we're not doing flats. We're going all drums, and I know
Dude,
that's going to piss you off.
you're being unrelenting now.
You like your women the way you like wings, flat.
Hey,
What?
as long as the booty's there, we're good.
Well, as long as there's breast meat on that chicken, we're good to go. All right, that's it. Show's over. Make sure you hit subscribe and give us a thumbs up. If you're here, please give us a thumbs up on this video right now. That would be amazing. Helps the channel grow. We're trying to get to 2,500. By the way, should we give away this Xbox that's just sitting here?
Yeah, we have an Xbox sitting on the floor, so maybe, hit us up on Twitter. Do something cool. Maybe you get a free Xbox.
Yeah, who knows? We have an extra Xbox. We could give it away. Subscribe. We'll give it to you sometime, maybe. Find me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, The Monty Show, Monty, The Monty Show. Jake is SLC Supercars on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Kenny says, yo.
Hey, Kenny.
Yo, Kenny. Okay. This show has been off the rails since college football talk ended. It has. It really has. Don't epoxy your penises. Enjoy your smokers this weekend.
And don't wear a size 15.
No, not at Nike, you don't. Until Monday, say goodbye, Jake.
Goodbye, Jake.